My name is Mark, and I used to have everything. I had a job, a home, a family, and friends. I thought I had a good life. But one day, everything changed. It felt like the world was crashing down around me. I lost everything in one big moment, and I didn't know what to do. I had no idea how to fix it, but I had to try. It all started a few years ago when I was working at a big company. I had been there for 10 years. I was a manager, and I worked very hard. I enjoyed my job because it gave me purpose. Every day, I would go to the office and do my best. I liked the people I worked with, and we got along well. My boss always praised me for my hard work, and I was proud of what I had achieved. I lived in a small house with my wife Sarah and our two children, Lucy and Ben. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. We had a car, a garden, and enough money to buy what we needed. We spent weekends together, playing in the park or having barbecues in the garden. Life felt simple and happy. I had everything I thought I needed. But then, everything started to change. The company I worked for was not doing well. There were talks about cutting costs and making changes. At first, I didn't think it would affect me. I thought my job was safe. But then, one afternoon, my boss called me into his office. "Mark, I'm sorry," he said. "The company is struggling, and we have to let some people go. Your position is one of the ones we are eliminating." I couldn't believe it. My heart dropped into my stomach. I had worked so hard for this company, and now I was being fired. My boss told me that I would get a severance package to help me, but that didn't make me feel better. I had no job, no income, no security. I walked out of the office feeling numb. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I called Sarah, and when I told her, she was quiet for a moment. "We'll be okay, Mark," she said. "We'll figure it out." But I wasn't so sure. I tried to stay calm, but I couldn't stop thinking about what this meant. Without my job, we couldn't pay the mortgage on our house. Without money, we couldn't pay the bills. My whole world started to feel like it was falling apart. Over the next few weeks, I tried to find a new job. I sent out many job applications. I went to interviews, but I wasn't getting any offers. The economy was bad, and many people were looking for work. It was hard to compete. I started to feel hopeless. The bills kept coming, and we couldn't pay them. The bank sent us letters saying we were behind on our mortgage payments. We tried to talk to the bank, but they said there was nothing they could do. If we didn't pay soon, they would take our house. One evening, after a long day of looking for jobs, I sat on the couch, staring at the TV. Sarah sat next to me, and Lucy and Ben were playing in the next room. I felt so much pressure. It felt like I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. "I'm sorry, Sarah," I said. "I don't know what to do. I've tried everything, but nothing is working." She took my hand and looked into my eyes. "You don't have to do everything alone. We're a family. We'll figure this out together." But I couldn't see how. I felt like I had failed them. I had lost my job. I was losing our house. I was losing everything. How could I fix this? How could I keep my family safe and happy? A few days later, the bank called. They said we had one more month to pay the mortgage. If we didn't, they would take our house. I felt like I was out of options. I didn't know what to do anymore. My mind was full of fear and doubt. I didn't know how to tell Sarah. But one evening, Sarah sat down with me. She looked at me with calm eyes. "Mark," she said, "I know you feel like you've lost everything, but we still have each other. We still have our family. That's what matters most. We will find a way." Her words helped, but they didn't take away the fear I was feeling. The next morning, I decided to make one last attempt. I went to the local community center and asked if they knew of any job opportunities. They gave me a list of companies hiring, and I decided to go there right away. I spent the whole day going from one place to another, handing in my resume and asking about job openings. It wasn't easy, but I kept trying. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, but I felt a little hopeful. The next week, I got a call from one of the companies I had applied to. They wanted to interview me for a position as a customer service representative. It wasn't my dream job, but it was a job. I needed something to support my family, and I decided to take the chance. I went to the interview, feeling nervous but determined. I told them about my experience and my skills. They liked what they heard, and they offered me the job on the spot. It wasn't as high paying as my old job, but it was a start. It was something. When I told Sarah the news, she hugged me tight. "I knew you could do it," she said, smiling. I started the new job the next week. It was hard at first. The work was different, and I had a lot to learn. But I kept at it, and slowly, I started to feel more confident. The job didn't solve all our problems, but it helped. It gave me a steady income, and we were able to pay the bills again. It wasn't easy, but we were getting by. A few months later, I was able to find a small apartment for us to live in. We had to leave our house, but we still had each other. It wasn't the same as before, but it was enough. We learned to live more simply, and we appreciated what we had. Looking back, I see now that losing everything wasn't the end of the world. It was hard, and it felt like the worst thing that could happen. But in the end, it taught me something important. That family is the most important thing in life. No matter what happens, as long as we have each other, we can get through anything. If you ever find yourself in a situation like mine, remember that it's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel scared, but don't give up. Keep trying. Ask for help. And most importantly, don't forget that you're not alone. Even when everything seems to be falling apart, there is always hope. Things may not always go the way we want, but there is always a way forward. And no matter what, your family will always be there for you.